Hi, Hogs. I'm going to talk about our blocking up front against Apple Valley this week. So we know our rules and what we're supposed to be doing, the different fronts that we'll see, the different types of blitzes that I've seen them do, just so we're prepared. And you guys can come back and watch this, and you can know how to block all of our plays against their different fronts. So they pretty much run three different defensive schemes. Their base is a 3-4, just like ours. They got 2-4 techniques. They got a zero technique, and both linebackers are on the line of scrimmage, just like our 3-4 is. But they change up some things to give different looks, just to try to mess with you, but it's still based off of 3-4. But you'll see a 3-4 look like we see here. We'll see a 4 front, because they just bumped some of their linemen over into gaps. And we'll see a 3-3 stack look because they'll put their safety as a linebacker and they'll bump their linebackers over. So either they'll bump their linebackers over in a 3-3 stack, or they'll bump their linemen into a 4 front, or they'll be in their base 3-4. So we'll talk about each one so we know exactly what to do this week for our game. Okay, so we'll talk about dive. I think we've done this enough where we know we're going to block our gap. We'll block out. We'll chip. We got a base. You guys are working to that backer. We got a chip. Oh my goodness, stop showing up. We got a base. You guys are working to that backer, and we're reading that backside linebacker. That's how dive should look. Make sure we keep our double teams tight, working up to those linebackers, okay? Next play, sweep is the same thing, okay? If we run sweep to the left, okay, we got a scoop, we got a chip, we got a scoop, and we're working up and looking back for this linebacker. Okay, we got a chip, we got a scoop, working up, looking for that linebacker. And then you're just ripping and running, trying to get to that linebacker as well. Okay, if he's gone, backside tackle, then you can work up to this safety. All right, so that's sweep. Chips and scoops. Okay, if we run power, and he's a 4 technique. Okay, we'll say 7-7-7. We're going to man block. We got to push. We got to chip. Okay, working to that backer. We got to pull, keeping it tight, blocking the inside backer. We got to wheel and seal on the backside. If we run counter the other way, you're going to say 7-7-7. We got a man on the 4. We got to push. We got to chip. Okay, we're going to that backer. We'll pull, kick out first person outside the tackle. The H is going to skip pull up to the play side inside backer, and we'll wheel and seal the backside. Trap. Okay, we'll rip release inside, and we work up to the near backer. We got a push and a chip, working to the backside backer, pull, kick out first person on or outside the guard, wheel and seal on the backside. Okay. If we run it the other way, rip up to backer, push to FBI, got a chip block, throwing them into your gap, pull, kick out first person on or outside the guard, wheel and seal the backside. Pass protection, we'll make a double fan call here. For sprint out, we got a hinge on the 4. We'll protect our play side gap. And the A-back will take care of that linebacker, that 7 technique linebacker. Boot, just like power, okay, but we're going to log the linebacker instead of kicking him out on boot. Let's talk about fan and kick. Okay, let's pretend that this is the other H. We got our 2 H's in here. Okay, let's talk about fan. We'll block out, we'll fan out. Okay, base the man block the nose, we'll fan out. Okay, lead up on the 2 backers. Kick, let's say we're running it to the right. Man block the 4, we'll say 7-7-7. Push to the backside backer, got a chip block. You're downing the 4, you're downing the backside backer. Okay, just block your backside gap away from the play. That's all you're doing on the backside. Front side of power is the exact same. Backside, you just block back in your gap. Okay, we'll kick out the 7. We'll lead up and through the hole. It's a fantastic looking play. Should be a good one. Okay, those are all of our plays when they're in their 3-4 look. Let's talk about their forefront. So what they'll do, watch carefully. Okay, let's put him back out here. What they'll do is that they will bump to the strong side. They'll put him in a 3 technique. Okay. One sec, guys. So they'll put the 3 technique on the H side. This is what they'll do, sorry. All right, here we go. So they'll bump over to the strong side. So they will have a 7 technique over the H. They'll have a 5 technique to the tackle. They'll have a 3 technique over the guard. They'll have a 1 technique on the back side. And then they'll have a 5 technique on the weak side as well, right here. Okay, so a 7, a 5, a 3, a 1, and a 5. This is their even look. What I'm going to have us do this week, our center is going to call out the front. So if they come out in their 3-4, so if he's got a 0 technique right in front of him, he's going to say, hey, 3-4, 3-4. If they come out in this even front where he's got an offset nose, he's going to say even, even, even. So we know that it's the blocking scheme's a little bit different. Okay. So let's go through our plays here. Let's say we're running dive to the right. Okay. So we got a base there. We got a chip. So the play side guard has a chip. If this guy is close enough, if that nose is kind of covering up, if this nose is not covering you up at all, guard, okay, then you got a bow call. So you're going to step out, punch the hip, and then work up to linebacker. Okay, center, you have a base block. Here we got a chip block because he's going to be on your backside shoulder, and we got a base block. And you guys are working up to that backer. H, you just got a plain old base block on this 5 technique. Make sure you get your head across. We got to protect this backside and make sure they don't flow over the top, because we're going to run the ball right down this A gap. The running back's going to look at this nose and see what he does. If we can cover him up, then we're going to run the ball right here. If this nose flies out to the outside, then he's going to cut the ball backside A gap, and that's where we got to make sure that we cover up this backside and we don't allow any penetration or allow them to fight over the top. Okay. Let's talk about going the other side. Let's run dive to the left because it's not a mirror image anymore. Okay, let's do our rules. Gap on play side backer. Gap on play side backer. Got a guy in your gap, base him. Got a guy in your gap, base him. Got a guy in your gap, base him. Got a guy in your gap? No. Got a guy on your backside shoulder? Chip. Got a guy in your gap? Yes. Base him. Got a guy in your gap? No. Got a guy backside shoulder? Chip. But you are looking at this linebacker. If this linebacker triggers into your gap, then you got to get off and block him. Okay. Obviously, this double team is working there. So center, you're looking for this backer to trigger. Okay. Same thing. This running back's going to read this nose. If that nose stays there, we're going to run the ball right here. So center, you got to make sure you get off on this backer. If not, we'll cut it back into this gap right here. Okay. Let's talk about trap. We're going to talk about trap either way. So let's say we're running trap to the left. We're going to kick out the first person on or outside the guard. That's the 3 technique. All right. So we'll say 3, 3, 3. And then we're working back here. So tackle, you're going to work to this backer. This 5 technique, if he tries to cross your face, you're going to take him. If not, you're just going to work straight to that backer. Play side guard, you're going to work to backside backer. H, you're going to stay on your path and you're going to try to get your head on the inside part of this end. Okay, you're going to try to wall him off from the play and make sure he can't fight over the top and get in there. Okay, so you're going to go drive block this end. Center, you got a down block. Backside guard, pull, kick out, first person on or outside the guard, which is 3 technique. So it's going to be a tighter pull. So make sure you stay nice and tight. And guys, if we get this blocked up, this is a touchdown. If we keep this tight, then wheel and seal on the backside. Make sure we're staying stout on the backside here. Check this linebacker first to see if he's going to blitz. Then pick up this linebacker and go. Don't catch him, attack him. Okay, say we run trap the other side. Kick out the first person on or outside the guard. That'd be this 5 technique here. So tackle, you're going to rip up inside. Guard, you got a down block. Here, we can do 2 things. We can either chip, working up to that backer, or we can make a cat call, where you go to the 3, you help out, and then you work back. H, you got a wheel and seal as well. Okay, stepping down hard to stop this 5 technique to the 7. Backside guard, pull, kick out, first person on or outside the guard, which is that 5 technique. Okay. So that is trap. Now let's talk about power. And I might have an aneurysm if we don't block power correctly or counter correctly this week. If our tackles do not block 3 techniques, I might lose it. Because I'm talking about it right now. We talked about it during camp. You can go back and look at the playbook. I don't know how many times I've said our rules as tackles this year. I'm going to walk through it right now. Let's say we run power to the left side. Our rule is to kick out the first person outside the tackle. Is that the 7 technique? No, it's the 5 technique. So H's, you got to make sure you're tight. Tighten up your stance. We're not even going to worry about this guy. He's not going to be in the play. We're going to kick out the 5. So we will say 5, 5, 5. Tackle, your rule is gap on down. Gap on down. Do you have a guy in your gap? Yes, you do. So you are going to down block him and drive him past the center. Now we're going to go to the guard. Gap on down to backer. Do you have a guy in your gap? No. Do you have a guy on you or on your play side shoulder? Yes, you do. So you're going to make a chip call. You're going to help double team this end and drive him down past the center. But you have your eyes on the FBI, the first backer inside. If this guy tries to blitz this A gap, you are going to come off and block him. Okay, but this is a chip and a down. This is not a chip and a push because he's not head up on the guard. He's only on the play side shoulder. So this guard still has a better angle to get to that linebacker if he needs to. Okay. Center, gap on down to backer. He has a guy in his gap, so he's going to down block him past the tackle. Okay. As I said, H, you got to make sure you're inside. Block that guy. So your splits, let me undo that. You will tighten your splits to about right here. And you are going to get your head on the inside number right there. And we're going to leave that 7. we're going to pull, find first hole, which will probably be outside that 3 technique to that backer. We'll wheel and seal the backside, looking for this linebacker to trigger into the B gap. If he doesn't, then you turn back to the C gap. Let's run counter to the right. Kick out first person outside the tackle. 5-5-5. Okay, go through your progression, gap on down. Okay, so you're going to be up to that backer. To FBI. So no one in your gap, pretending this guy's not here because we're kicking him out. So you go down to FBI. Gap on down to backer. You have a guy in your gap, so you're going to down block him. Okay, center, gap, no one in your gap. You have a guy on your play side shoulder, so you're going to chip, looking for this linebacker to blitz your gap. Or if the tackle needs help, you can make a cat call and down block the 3 technique, just like we talked about in trap. Okay. Backside guard, you are going to pull and kick out first person outside the tackle. Or sorry, first person outside the tackle. My fault. First person outside, not on or outside. First person outside. Backside tackle. You're going to wheel and seal. You're going to try to stop that 3. And then seal off. H is going to skip pull and lead up and through. Finding first ugly jersey. Okay. That's what we're doing. Okay. Now let's say we line up in psycho and they come out in this. I don't know exactly how they're going to line up because we have a balanced formation. My assumption, oops, they're going to do this and bring this guy here. Okay. And I don't know how they're going to line up. They might just go into 2 techniques right here. They might just stay in a 1-3 and pick a side. But to me, it really doesn't matter. Okay, let's talk about kick. Kick is the same as power and counter, guys. It's the same thing. Okay, let's say we're running kick to the right here. Okay, so gap on down, gap on down, gap on down. Okay, we don't need to cat here on kick, if you think about it, because our backside guard isn't pulling. So we can just chip here, looking for this backer. We got a down, kick out, pull through, money play. Should be beautiful. Okay, run it to the left side here. Down, chip, down, 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 kick, pull through. Okay, that's what that's going to look like. And this guard, you're looking for that linebacker. Fan, this should be an interesting one. So what we'll do on fan, just like our pass protection, block there, block out, man on, man away. We're going to have a double team here, which will be sweet. Okay, block there. H is going to lead up. H is going to lead up. Look at that. We get a double team on the point of the attack, and we get both linebackers blocked. This should be a very nice play. What was I going to say? Okay, so let's say they line up in 2 techniques now. Okay, so now let's say they're head up 2s. This is an assumption that they will come out in 2 techniques if we line up in this. Okay, so they come out in this in 2 techniques. Let's talk about it. All right, let's say we run kick. Okay, kick to the right. Tackle, you have a guy in your gap. He's head up on the guard. So you're going to make a push call. I know tackles, you haven't done a lot of those. So you're going to push him over into his gap. We got a chip, and you're going to throw him over into your gap, and you're going to work up to FBI after you push him. Okay. Center, you have a guy in your gap, so you're going to down him. You're going to down. You're going to down. Kick out, pull through. If we run fan, just got a man block, got a man block, got a man block, got a man block. Center, you are going to pick the you're going to pick the two technique that you like the least. Okay, you'll choose either that guy or that guy, and you're going to go maul him. Okay, H is going to lead up and through, just like that. It'll be good to go. All right. Let's see here. Let's get this guy out of here. Now let's just do this. Let's talk about, let's say they come out in a two front or twos and fives like this. How do we block it? All of our other stuff. Okay, let's just say we got a single H here. And how do we block all of our stuff? Let's say we run dive to the right. So we got a base block, we got a chip, we got a base working up to this backer. We got a chip, we got a base working up to this backer. Okay, H lined up here. You got a base block. Get your head across right there. Now, we've had trouble with this in the past, just like against a 3-3 stack. I might tell the center and the play side guard, you have a man block. Center, you have a bow up to that backer. Okay, because this this inside backer might come into that A gap. So it makes more sense for that center to go to him. So I might say, if they're lining up in these twos a lot, I'm going to say center and guard, play side guard. You got a man block, you got a bow block. So it's going to look like this. Here's your man block. Okay. And you're working up to that backer right there, instead of you taking him over. Okay. Speaking of, let's keep going here with this. So they're in their two technique. So sweep's the same thing as that. So we're going to do this. We got our scoop, we got a chip, we got a scoop, we got a chip, we got a scoop. Oh my goodness. Chip, we got a scoop. H, you'll scoop this guy. H, pretend that you're out here, please. Okay, let's say we're running trap. We're going to trap the two technique, first person on or outside the guard. So how this will look is that you'll block FBI for running trap to the right. Okay, rip inside, block FBI. You got a down block. Kick out the first person on or right side of the guard. This is really tight. It's going to happen really fast. And you're going to wheel and seal. H is going to wheel and seal on the backside. Okay, so that's mirror image on the left. Now, if we run power, just like we talked about with kick, let's say we're running power to the left here. Gap on down. We're going to kick the 5, correct? So we'll say 5, 5. Oh, no, sorry. I messed up. Gap on down. You got a guy in your, got a guy in your gap. So you're going to make a push call. Push, push, push. You're going to push him over into the guard's gap, and then you're going to work up to FBI. Got a down block. H is going to kick out first person outside the tackle. Backside guard's going to pull up and through. We're going to wheel and seal the backside. Tackles, you can help out with that two technique if you need to. I don't think we should, but this is kind of like a reverse cat call. Centers, if you need help with the two, because you have a hard time getting in front of them, you can make a cat call to the tackle telling them, hey, come and help me with this two technique before you go and block the 5. So we can still make a cat call against the 2. Okay. Let's say we run counter, same thing, push to backer, got a chip block here, got a down block or a cat call. Backside guard, pull, kick out first person outside the tackle, H lead up and through on that guy. Okay, pass protection against this. Just man on man, man on man, man on man, man on man. A back is looking at these two linebackers. Center, you stay square and you give a hand. If these guys try to slant inside, you give a hand and you help out and you lean in on that side. Okay, you just stay square. The rest of you step in hard, guards, and influence them upfield. That's your job. Okay. Last one. I know this is getting long, guys, but I want to make sure I cover this so you guys have the most success possible. Okay. And you guys know what to do. So hopefully you guys watch this. I spent a lot of time on these to try to help you guys out. Hopefully, oh my goodness. Hopefully you guys appreciate it and you guys watch it. Last one's a 3-3 stack. I know we've already seen it. We've talked about this before because of our scrimmage, but I'll talk about it very quickly. They come out, they're going to be in 4 techniques in their 3-3 stack. Okay. So here they're going to have a 4 and a 7. So if we run dive, we got a base, we got a base, we got a chip, we got a base, we got a chip working up to play side backer. And remember, we're working the stack. So we have no one to block this play side backer. So most likely what we're going to do here is we're going to put the H on the front side. And it'll look like this. Base, chip, or man. We might say for technique, you got a man call here, and you got a bow up. Got a chip, we got a base. We're working up to that backside backer. If we're running trap, we're going to trap the 4. We got a push, we got a chip, and you're working up. Remember, trap up, power, counter down. Okay, so trap up, pull, kick out, 4 technique, wheel and seal on the backside. Against a 3-3 stack, we trap, we work up to the stack backer. On power and counter, we work down because we have a pulling guard or a pulling H coming to help us. Okay, so let's say we're running power to the right, 7-7-7, we kick out the 7, we man the 4, we push, we chip here, and we're working down. Okay, pull, kick out this guy, wheel and seal backside. Same thing with counter. Yeah, and we should be good to go. They're mainly in a 3-4 or that 4 front. They're very seldom are they in this 3-3 stack. And honestly, we might just treat this like a 3-4. But I just wanted to re-emphasize it or go over it again, guys. I'm going to stop the video here. Please watch this entire video so you know what to do, so we don't have any mental errors like we did last game against Chanhassen. Okay, we beat ourselves on a lot of our plays, so we got to make sure that we know what to do and do our job.